Hi everyone, welcome on board to helper.tv, where you get the reliable news that is tailored for you, and of course where you can actually comment and interact.
Femi Adesina, special advisor to the president on media and publicity, has stated that he has been receiving curses after a false report of him being against the M0R protests went viral on social media. In a lengthy article titled An Enemy of the People, which he shared on Thursday, October 15, Femi Adesina insisted that he has never advised the president to ignore the M0R protests rocking the nation. The presidential spokesperson further stated that he was never given a chance to respond to the claim. And below is the article, and I'm going to go through the article that he wrote. For well over 1 week, the polity has been suffused with what President Muhammad Buhari describes as a genuine concern and agitation by Nigerians about the excessive use of force, and in some cases extrajudicial killings and wrongful conduct by men of the Nigerian police. And in that period of time too, I have had strident efforts being made to position me as an enemy of the people. Very serious efforts by mean people who are simply out to generate hatred and animus against other people for no other reason than luciferous and pernicious feeling of smug satisfaction. As a year 2 undergraduate at the then University of Ife in 1982, one of the texts recommended for us in English literature class was Enemy of the Public by the Norwegian writer Henrik Ibsen. I remember traveling from Ile-Ife then to the popular Odusote bookstores in Ibadan to procure the book, along with some other recommended texts. The term Enemy of the People originated in Roman times as hostis publicus, which, if translated directly, means public enemy, someone acting against the larger group, indeed against society, get appointed to serve in an elevated public position in Nigeria, and you automatically face some odium, nay, opprobrium. He has joined those who have come to steal our money. He has come to earn fat salary. Is going to be taken care of from the public treasury, while we have to slave and toil before we earn a living. He will be talking to us from a high horse, haughty, huffing, while we look like grasshoppers before him. They never care what you wear and where you were coming from, whether you came down several notches in your income in order to serve your country does not matter to them. Did you lobby for the job or not? It does not matter. The moment you get appointed into government position, you are poised to become an enemy of the people. The first salvo came on Sunday from a suicide fake journalist who plies a trade with an online rack called People's Gazette. He published that President Muhammadu Buhari was to have approved the dissolution of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad the previous Friday, but had been prevailed upon not to do so by his spokesman, Femi Adesina. That happens to be me, and the information was coming to me as a piece of virulent, hateful news. Again, the hatchet job, masquerading as a news item, added that I convinced the president not to ever surrender the sovereignty of government to Twitter warriors, whatever that means. Further, it said because of my anti-people convictions, I had issued a statement against the NSAS protesters, which had received wide condemnation from the general public. Several falsities stood out from the supposed news stories. One, what the reporter claimed never happened, that I had prevailed on President Buhari not to scrap SARS must have existed only in his fecund but diseased imagination. What truth did that information rest on? None. Was I or anybody else spoken with to authenticate the supposed information? Not at all. It clearly failed the test of objectivity, which every good news story must pass. Then the report said I had issued a statement against EDSA's protests, which had received wide condemnation. Where, when, how, by what date? I had not said a word, either privately or publicly, against the public marches. Any decent journalist would have checked and quoted the date and content of such statement if it ever existed. But the journalists from hell simply published lies against me, not obeying dictates of the noble profession. And because we are in the age of digital media characterized by riot and recklessness, people began to share the evil fake story. The plot to turn me into an enemy of the people was in full motion. I issued a rejoinder to the fake story by an equally fake reporter, rebuting all his claims. A number of people believed me, but an equally large number of people refused to believe and continue to share and purvey the evil report. Why not? Some people revel in merely believing the worst about other people, and no superior argument will ever convince them. Of course, Barabbas the murderer was preferred against Jesus in Bible's days. Let me tell you about my minimal contact with this non-credible, notorious purveyor of fake reports, who now publishes the online People's Gazette. He used to work for Premium Times, which is one of the more professional online newspapers we've had. Over the past 5 years since I came to serve a government, he had called me up several number of times in attempt to balance stories. I would give him the side of government, particularly the presidency, but whenever the stories came out, he would have twisted them to serve his whims and other predetermined ends. What would be published would in no way look like what I had told him, yet he would credit such to me. He did it once, I thought it was happenstance. He did it the second time, I thought it was coincidence. When he did it the third time, I knew it was a deliberate enemy action. I called up his editor, Musikiliu Mojid, and pleaded that wherever his video managed to confirm or cross-check with me, he should please send a saner and more professional journalist. It's that same raggedly reported that has now become the publisher of People's Gazette, a veritable danger to today and tomorrow. Now a publisher. Shame. Online journalism takes all sorts: the thief, the liar, the pimp, the pen and assassin, and all sorts of villains. At the touch of a button, they just attempt to set on fire. They set out to incinerate names, reputations, society, the country, and if possible, humanity itself. Thy glory, O journalism, is slain upon the high places. How are the mighty falling? There was yet another attempt to position me as an enemy of the public on Wednesday this week, on August 6th this year. I had appeared on Sunrise Daily, the early morning program of Channels Television. Topic of discussion was a rally the previous day organized by the Revolution Now group. That rally meant to torpedo the normal order of society, attracted just a handful of people who showed clean pairs of heels the moment security agents approached. I was asked how the presidency felt about the rally. I said it was a non-event, mere irritation caused by a handful of lily-livered people who vanished as soon as they saw the police. On Wednesday, a hidden hostile hand, son of perdition, took a video of the interview, edited it, and made it seem as if I was reacting to the extant NSAS protests. All hell broke loose online with people mouthing maledictions and curses against me. Well, such things have ways of returning to the sender, so it didn't bother me. A curse shall not alight without a curse, because says the book of books. I am happy that Channels Television was professional enough to issue a prompt clarification. It published that was being made to look like a fresh interview had been done well over 2 months earlier. Thanks. Those who wanted to believe the television station, a larger number chose not to, and bombarded my phone lines with curses, expletives, and messages from the pit of hell. Well, if anybody chooses to belong to that nether region, it's a matter of choice. Talking of bombardment of my phone lines, it had begun on Sunday. A hateful mind had published my 2 numbers on Twitter, urging people to troll me. They called till the phone batteries were dead. Mom was a word from me. He was reviled, but responded not. That is what the good book said of my master, the one I tried to pattern my life after. So I said not a word to any of the colors. The flurry of hateful calls was petering out on Wednesday when the doctored video was launched. All hell broke loose again. My 2 lines began to rage simultaneously, all bearing hateful messages laced with threats. Still, Mom was a word from me. No reviling. Just as my master would have done, we try to walk his steps despite our occasional failings as mere mortals. Now, why do I think people try to demonize those in government and bring them down? Many reasons. Evil heart, the heart of man is evil and desperately wicked. If you are in any form of elevated position, they would love to see you fall. Man is in a fallen state, and the more they see you bite the dust, the happier they are. As spokesman to the president, they have told themselves you were lying before you opened your mouth to talk. Ask them to mention one lie told to them in 5 years, and they begin to look like fools, people with adult minds. Again, envy consumes them. Why should he be presidential spokesman and I can't be? Does he have 2 heads? Why should he be earning that fat pay? Very fat indeed, as fat as Super D of Africa. And I'm not the one earning it. Why should we live in government quarters, ride official cars fueled and serviced by government? How I wish it happens, and generally be impervious to the hardship and thou. Envy turns to malice, and they get consumed by ill will. Again, in my own case, they say, why is he so loyal to his past? Why is he not joining us to malign and hate him? Yes, I love President Buhari, and I've done so since 1984 when he became military head of state. Until China joins to Africa, I will love him. The strongest man in the world is he who stands most alone. Ibsen wrote in The Enemy of the People, yes, millions of people love President Buhari passionately, but in the unlikely event that the number will dwindle to 10 or less, count me in the number of those that remain. Whether I serve in government or not, Buhari is my man. That's why I wear my best trousers to serve him. Though Ibsen wrote that you should never wear your best trousers when you go out to fight for freedom and truth, I'm wearing mine. So people want to join them to hate the president. It will never happen, not in this world or in the next. I have picked my own hero. Let them pick theirs, so they will try to bring me down. But the more they try, the higher they see me on the mountaintop. In my first month as special advisor to the president, Sultan Mohammed Sahad Abubakar of Sokoto had come to the presidential villa. I had known him long before then, and he calls me Kuli Kuli, which is my email address, which I had chosen for some comic relief. The Sultan said on that day, Kuli Kuli, you have come to do a most difficult job, a thankless job. See what happened to those before you. That is the way people will want you to end. But if the work as thankless for others, for you, it won't be so. The Sultan was prophesying, and I said a resounding amen. I thanked him and left. I have not forgotten that encounter, and sure won't. So for all those trying to bring me down, to make me an enemy of the people, are not striving in vain. For who Jah bless, no man can curse, sang Bob Marley. The food seller can only hire a toad open by. The toad can never end in a soup pot. For the fake journalists and those who share this evil report, that person who doctored the channel's TV interview to generate hate, and all those who besiege me with virulent phone calls and text messages, I can only say, Father, forgive them, for they know what they do. These are the words of the man who represents Buhari as a spokesperson, and some claim that he felt that he was a pastor in RCCG, and they say if this is true, this is so disappointing with the level of vituperations coming from him to justify his duty as aide to the president. They said that he doesn't do well in balancing his reportage vis-a-vis respecting the sufferings of Nigeria. I've once heard from the same man, he said we should be thankful and grateful to President Muhammadu Buhari. Why? That the terrorists are no longer using explosives, but now cutting people's neck. That's what he said. And I don't know how you can relate to this. I don't know how you can relate to such. He said he has been receiving curses on his phone. And definitely, he knows that he has a tough job.
I say a very big thank you to those who have taken time to subscribe to this channel. And if you're yet to subscribe, kindly tap on that subscription button and also the red bell icon so you will be notified whenever videos such as this are uploaded.